Hey guys, welcome to Lawpedic, and today we're going to be talking about 5 things that you should not do while you are on workers' comp and or before you get on to workers' comp. If you don't know, my name is Nico, and just this last year I got injured in a accident where I was delivering a package, and I was very frustrated with with the least amount of information that's online for injured workers. So that's why I've started Workers Deserve Rights, to really give out a bunch of information that someone can go about their claim confidently before they need to go and reach out to an attorney. And just a disclaimer, I am not a lawyer. I'm just a injured worker that has dealt with a lot of stuff that he should not have. And if you have any other questions or need concrete answers to things, just go ahead and contact a licensed attorney within your state and they can give you more concrete answers that you can go off of. But this is what I have so far, and these are from my own personal experiences. So these are 5 things that you should not do and or before you get on workers' comp. So not reporting your injury. This is a big one. You can't have any medical benefits or wage loss benefits or anything if you don't report your injury because nobody knows about it. Most states have certain amount of time where you can report your injury. I'm going to use Kansas for an example. In Kansas, you have, I think it's up to 2 years, but you should report your injury immediately. Of course, some injuries take a while to come onto, like say you have cancer from asbestos and you were in a demolition company 30 years ago, then of course that's a different case than someone spraining their ankle and being like, hey, 3 years later, I need ankle surgery. I would like this back. It's a lot more complicated process if you don't report your injury immediately. So always make sure right when you're injured, no matter the severity, to do it in both the written and verbal. Written just to keep a paper trail just in case your employer is a little shady and saying that you did not report it. But always just make sure to report your injury. Number 2 is not being truthful with your doctor. It's easy to both overemphasize and underemphasize your injuries, and they both come with consequences. Over is you could look like you're lying to your doctor, and your insurance company does not enjoy that. They do not want to pay more than they need to pay to get you back to work level. So if you're overemphasizing your injuries, they could hire a private investigator, and this could cause them to really doubt you and you to be followed by someone for them to be like, hey, this guy's actually lying, and then your claim actually get denied and then be a whole debacle of a mess. And then both underemphasizing your injuries as well. So don't be afraid to tell the doctor how you feel. If your boss is like, hey, you need to come into work, your injury's not that bad, yes it is. If you're on workers' comp, you have an injury and you need to have it dealt with. Make sure they know everything, because if they don't know something, they can't treat it. So this is why it's important for them to know everything about your case. Missing your appointments. So a funny thing is I got COVID about 7 months into my injury, 4 months after my surgery, and I was going to miss a week because of quarantine, and the insurance company decided they wanted to cut off my benefits at that time because I wasn't showing up to my appointments, which I had called everybody, told everybody what was going on, and they all knew, but they were like, hey, you missed these 4 days. We're not going to pay him for these 4 days. Unfortunately, my attorney stepped in and was like, no, you will pay them. There's no reason not to pay him. But this is an example of what could happen if you miss your appointments. And another thing is, if you deny your treatment that could help you get better, your benefits from there on out could also be in jeopardy. So if you're going to miss an appointment, make sure you contact the medical provider, whether that be PT, the medical facility you're going to, and then contact the correct legal party. So if you have an attorney, contact your attorney. They will tell you the next steps. Contact your insurance adjuster or contact your nurse case manager, any of those. And then attend your next appointment whenever it might be, after whatever the reason is. Number 4 is trusting your insurance adjuster. So insurance adjusters, we need to be clear, do work for the company that is you're going against technically or pursuing a claim with. So there's always some little bit of time to beware, because insurance, as much as an insurance adjuster wants to help you, and I believe there are good ones out there, they still are getting paid by someone telling them they need to lower costs. So that is something you need to be cautious of when talking to an adjuster. And an example of this could be is I had an adjuster that just didn't 100% know what she was talking about. And that's not wrong. Just she didn't know at the time, and you could tell she was kind of new. Thinking back on it, I had just gotten my first check from my TTD because I was totally out. I couldn't do my job. And then they came back telling me that I couldn't get any more pay because my contract stated that I wasn't technically full-time, but I had been working full-time hours for the last 2 years. So my attorney stepped in and was like, hey, no, pay him, or we're going to a hearing for you to then still have to pay him. So that's an example of not trusting your insurance adjuster and taking everything they say at face value. And if something sounds a little fishy, reach out to an attorney. They're free to consult and get their opinion and see what they would think that would be best for you to do. And that really goes into number 5 of not hiring an attorney. I would have saved so much headache in my life if I had just hired an attorney from the beginning. And it was hard because I didn't realize I needed an attorney until it was the last point. So if you just have a scrape on your hand and you're like, just need to go to urgent care real quick and get it stitched up, then you probably don't need an attorney. But if they are bending you over backwards, they're denying your claim, you have to have surgery, any of those things, you probably need to talk to an attorney because it can get a little more interesting the longer your claim goes on. And they're free. They're, like I said earlier, they're free consultations. They don't cost anything. Most of the time, they'll just answer your questions and see if you're a right fit for them or if they're a right fit for you. And that is a great way to get a lot of your questions answered. But if you don't feel you need an attorney and you just want questions answered to the best of their ability, I do have a Start Here page up top, which you can find, that will have everything about workers' comp A to Z. Still working on it all. And it'll give you every article, everything you could possibly ever ask within this website to try to help you. And then I will also have a lawyers tab to help you find a lawyer near you so that you can best be helped in your injury case. And then I also have contact if you just want to reach out directly, and I can see how I can help in any sort of way. So you guys have a wonderful day. Hopefully you get feeling better. And those are 5 things that you should not do while you're on workers' comp.